Hey, Stoic friends, welcome back. There are days when you don't say a word, but your silence is louder than a scream. You move through the world with a face that looks fine, but inside there's chaos, tearing at your insides. You laugh when needed, nod when expected, and keep going, like nothing's wrong. But truth is, your mind's been dragging you through hell on a leash. It throws memories like daggers, plays shame like a soundtrack. It keeps rerunning every failure, every betrayal, every missed shot like a sick film. You can't stop watching, and somewhere along the way, you started buying into it, believing the voice that says you're not enough, that you're stuck, that you'll never crawl out of this hole. You wake up tired, you sit in silence, but your thoughts scream. They whisper that you're late in life, that you've messed up too much, that your best days are behind you. And the more you fight it, the deeper you sink. This isn't just anxiety. This isn't just overthinking. This is mental warfare. And yet, the world doesn't see it. They see the mask. They see you managing. They don't see you staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m., mind spinning like a hurricane. They don't hear the voice inside that won't shut up, telling you you're a burden, a failure, a ghost in your own life. You've smiled through breakdowns. You've held yourself together with invisible thread. You've stood in front of the world while quietly falling apart behind the scenes. But listen, this video isn't for people pretending to be okay. This is for the ones who are done pretending, the ones who've been pushed to the edge, pulled under by thoughts they never asked for. Tired of the emotional chains they wear like armor. This is for the ones who scream in silence and ache in peace. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." But how do you find that power when your own mind feels like an ambush? When every memory, every worry, every fear is trying to strangle you from the inside? You don't run. You don't hide. You don't numb yourself. You step into the storm. Because that's what Stoicism is. It's not toxic positivity. It's not fake smiles and shallow mantras. It's war, calm, cold, real. It's standing in front of the battlefield. That is your mind. And saying, I will not be ruled by ghosts. I will not be dragged by lies. I will not die with my own hands around my throat. Stoicism doesn't sugarcoat the pain. It sharpens you through it. It teaches you to face the fire. Walk through it and come out forged like steel. So this isn't just another video. This is war medicine. This is mental armor. This is a battle cry for everyone who's tired of being a prisoner in their own skull. We are not going to sit back and wait for peace. We're going to hunt it. We're not dodging the storm. We're ripping through it with our eyes wide open by the end of this. That voice in your head, the one that's been lying to you, chaining you, haunting you, will be exposed. You'll realize it was never truth, just noise, just fear, wearing your voice. So don't blink, don't skip, don't look away, like, comment and subscribe right now. Because this message could be the one thing that saves someone from the edge, and drop this in the comments. So the world knows you're done being a slave to your own thoughts. I will no longer be a prisoner of my own mind. Let's break the chains. Let's burn the lies. Let's rebuild you from the bones, up not as a victim, but as a force. Let's get into it. Your mind is a weapon. Number one, your mind is not a mirror. It's a weapon somewhere along the brutal road of life. You are fed a soft lie that your mind is just a reflection of the world around you, that it echoes your environment, your emotions, your circumstances, like some fragile glass. But that's not just false, it's dangerous. Your mind doesn't just show you what's there, it bends it, it colours it. It takes your past, scars, your childhood chaos, your heartbreak, your failures, and builds a distorted lens. And through that twisted lens, you start mistaking illusion for reality. You think you're weak, you think you're stuck, you think something's broken in you, but none of it's real. It's not truth, it's a trap, and your own mind laid it. You think the anemone out there. You think the world is holding you back. Wake up. The most vicious battles are fought inside your own skull. behind your eyes. There's a war zone, and if you're not armed, you're already losing. How many times have you built entire catastrophes in your head that never even existed? How many times did you break yourself down before the world had the chance to? How many dreams have you buried not because someone stopped you, but because a quiet thought whispered, "You're not ready"? That voice doesn't scream. It slithers, it crawls into your chest at 3 a.m. and feeds on your doubt like it owns the place. And the worst part, you believed it. You bought into your own sabotage. You handed your mind the blade and told it where to cut. That's not just self-doubt, that's mental treason. Your thoughts aren't harmless, they're loaded. Every negative loop is a bullet chambered in your own weapon. And the longer you let them run wild, the more you bleed without even knowing it. You walk around smiling, performing, pretending, but inside, your thoughts are ripping holes in your identity, your confidence, your future. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The soul becomes dyed with the colour of its thoughts." So what are you staining your soul with? Fear, regret, jealousy, bitterness? Look around. The life you're living is being painted by the colours inside your head. You want to change your reality. You have to burn the palette. You have to take that mind of yours and forge it in fire. No more mirrors, no more passive reflection. It's time to turn that soft mind into sharp steel. Not soft, not safe, not positive vibes, only weaponized clarity, surgical precision, cold, calm dominance. That's what a Stoic trains for, not comfort control. So the next time your thoughts tell you you're behind, punch back with, "I'm preparing." When they whisper, "You're not enough," answer, "I haven't even started." You don't argue with lies, you overwrite them. Not with delusion, not with fantasy, but with purpose, repetition, and force. The kind of force that rips the weakness out of your voice and rebuilds it, with fire in your gut and steel in your spine. You don't beg your mind to help you. You grab it by the throat and drag it into discipline, because this world doesn't care if you feel stuck. It will keep spinning. Life will keep punching. And if your mind is still stuck, reflecting pain instead of slicing through it, you'll drown in your own thoughts. But if you train it day by day, hour by hour, you'll stop reacting to life and start commanding it. You'll stop begging your thoughts to be kind and start making them kneel to your vision. That's not fantasy, that's warfare, and you're the weaponsmith. Drop this in the comments. If you feel it in your chest, my mind is my weapon. I will train it, not fear it, and don't just say it, bleed it. Because once your mind obeys the world, emotional pain isn't proof. Follows number 2. Emotional pain isn't proof. It's a message, that pain in your chest, that hollow in your stomach, that turns to acid when you think of her, of him, of that moment. You can't rewind. That's not weakness. That's not proof. You're broken. That's the sound of your soul slamming its fists on the walls you built to keep the truth out. The ache isn't here to ruin you, it's here to wake you up. But we're so damn quick to treat pain like poison. We numb it with fake smiles, drown it in scrolling, suffocate it under meaningless hookups and distractions. But no matter how deep you bury it, it knows where you sleep. It knows your name, and it will crawl out from the shadows. The moment your guard slips, you think you're being punished. You think that heartbreak is karma. No, that's your heart handing you a blueprint. Pain is the architect of change. It's a brutal, honest, merciless teacher. But if you listen, it'll show you exactly where the rot is. But instead of learning, you lie, you tell yourself you're fine. You tell your friends you're over it, but your hands still shake when her name pops up. Your voice still cracks when you talk about that dream you gave up on. And your silence, it's louder than any scream. Marcus Aurelius didn't write about pain, like some philosopher in a robe sipping wine under the stars. He wrote from the trenches, from the battlefield. He said the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke. That means you hold the blade, you decide, if the pain cuts you or carves you into something sharper. But most people, they don't fight back. They let the pain define them. They become the echo of what hurt them. They marry the heartbreak. They adopt the rejection. And before long, they stop being themselves and start living as the scar. But if you've got even an ounce of fire left in you, you don't let pain speak for you. You stare it down and tear the message from its throat. What is this agony trying to tell you? What truth have you ignored for too long? What identity have you outgrown? Because that's the code buried in the suffering. There's a version of you that's dead, and the only reason it still hurts is because you're trying to drag the corpse. Let it burn. Feel every inch of the pain. Let it set your bones on fire. Let it bring you to your knees, but don't stay there. Stand back up, eyes bloodshot, hands shaking, heart wide open, and tell it, thank you for the lesson. Now get the hell out of my way. You are not your damage. You are not the one who got left. You are not the failure, the almost, the forgotten. You are the fire that survived all of it, and that makes you lethal. Drop this in the comments. If you've ever clawed your way out of emotional hell, my pain didn't break me, it built me. And if your heart still hurts good, that means it still works. That means you've still got something left to fight. Kill the inner narrator. For number 3, kill the inner narrator. That keeps you small. There's a voice that doesn't sleep. It's in your head before your eyes even open. It doesn't yell, but it slices. It waits for moments of hope, then poisons them with doubt. It doesn't just speak, it drips, guilt drips, shame drips, weakness. It doesn't need to scream because it's patient. It's been watching you for years, quiet, coiled, and every time you've second-guessed yourself, every time you've backed down from a moment of greatness, every time you've kept your mouth shut when your soul was ready to roar, it was there, feeding, grinning, winning. You weren't born with that voice. You built it in the shadows, from cold stars that told you you'd never be enough, from words that cut you down and laughter that made you smaller, from nights where you lay in bed thinking, why does it always go wrong for me? You didn't choose that voice, but you fed it with fear, with silence, with repetition, and now it walks through your mind like it owns the damn place. That voice, that constant drip of doubt, that bitter, sarcastic narrator who mocks every step you take. It's a liar dressed in your tone. It uses your voice, but it isn't your truth. It's a thief, a con artist. It doesn't want progress. It wants power. And every time you hesitate, it grows fangs. Every time you talk yourself out of something bigger, it rubs its hands and settles in deeper. You want to know the real war. It's not between you and the world. It's between you and that inner leech, that inner saboteur that's been scripting your downfall in your own handwriting. You think you're lazy, you think you're broken, you think you're behind. That's not you. That's a fake version of you, molded by moments you were never meant to carry. Burn that version, rip it apart, drag it into the daylight and choke it with facts. Marcus Aurelius didn't conquer armies and hold empires by believing the first voice in his head. He wrote in his journal over and over, not because he was weak, but because he knew how brutal the inner war could be. He knew the mind was a battlefield, and unchecked thoughts were traitors. Your soul takes on the colour of your thoughts. He said, what colour is yours? Faded, grey, lifeless, beige? Or are you finally ready to paint it in blood, red courage and steel, black discipline? Here's the move. You don't negotiate with that voice. You don't try to reason with it. You replace it when it says you're not ready. You say, no one starts ready. When it says you'll fail, you grin and reply, then I'll bleed forward. When it says they're better than you, you raise your chin and growl, good. Let them watch me catch up. This isn't about fake affirmations. This isn't about standing in the mirror and saying, I am enough while your life stays the same. This is about rewiring the damn narration. This is about killing the passive tone and replacing it with fire-bee breathing command. It's about becoming your own commander, not your own critic. Every time that voice shows up, treat it like a trespasser, slam the mental door in its face, get aggressive, get surgical use, your actions as weapons. Every step forward is a slap in its mouth. Every disciplined day is a bullet through its lies. Speak to yourself like a soldier, gritty, raw, but rooted in purpose. You're not here to babysit insecurities. You're here to build an unshakable core. Kill that voice. Drown it in effort, strangle it with structure. Burn it with truth. Bury it under reps books. Silence, solitude, hunger, and heat. Break it the way a storm breaks the sky without apology, because that voice is not just your weakness. It's your cage, and you don't break cages by being polite. You break them by becoming undeniable. You don't need a reason. You don't need approval. You need movement. Action is your sword. Discipline is your shield. You're not a victim of your thoughts. You are the sculptor, the fire, the force. Now take the damn pen back and silence the narrator. For good number 4, stop asking for peace. Stop asking for peace in a battlefield you won't leave. You say you crave peace, but you keep sleeping in the middle of a war zone. Don't you see it every night? You curl up with chaos like it's your lover. You let drama into your bloodstream like a drug. You swore you'd quit. You scroll through envy like it's oxygen drink from the well of digital poison, and then scream to the skies, asking why your mind feels like a cage. You say you're tired, but you keep showing up to the circus with a front row ticket and open arms. You don't want peace. You want comfort in hell, and hell has no exits. For those who keep decorating the walls, there's no such thing as calm in an environment you refuse to leave. Peace doesn't bloom in madness. It gets slaughtered there. You light candles for serenity while keeping the doors open for every demon that ever haunted you. You read quotes about healing while you stay chained to everything that's been breaking. You don't confuse rituals with resurrection. You can meditate every morning. But if you keep texting ghosts by noon, you're not healing. You're hiding. You're not finding peace. You're faking it. Marcus Aurelius told us to retreat into our own soul, but you've built a nightclub inside yours, and every night you turn the music louder just to avoid hearing your own heartbeat. Who are you trying to save by destroying yourself? Who are you still clinging to, hoping their presence will someday feel like peace, even though every conversation feels like slow death? You need to face it. Some people come with knives, not hugs. Some places are built to shrink you. Some habits are dressed like hobbies, but they're executioners in disguise. Every time you choose to stay in those mental war zones, you surrender your crown. You trade your peace for noise, your mind for madness, your soul for shallow validation. You want to change your life. Then leave the room that's setting you on fire, even if everyone you love is still sitting inside it. You want to stop overthinking. Then starve it. Cut off its oxygen silence, the noise that keeps feeding it. Unfollow every face that makes you feel like you're running behind block. The people who drained your light and then mocked you for going dim. Walk away from conversations that replay in your head like torture songs. This isn't being cold, it's being awake. This is war. And in war, mercy to the enemy is cruelty to yourself. Detachment is not indifference. It's defense when they call you selfish for choosing your sanity. Smile because sanity is sacred, and no one gets to rent space in your head unless they bring peace with them. Let them misunderstand you. Let them gossip, blame, distort, twist. You're not living for applause. You're not performing anymore. You've burned that stage down to ash. You're not soft for walking away. You're not broken for protecting your space. You are a fortress now, and peace is the moat. You are no longer begging to be heard in rooms filled with noise. You are no longer bleeding just to keep others warm. Let them freeze. You're done handing out fire to people who only ever burned you. And once you finally truly walk out of those emotional combat zones, you will taste something you've never tasted before. Silence that doesn't feel empty, but holy solitude that doesn't feel lonely, but divine stillness that isn't boring. It's alive. You'll sit with yourself and finally feel like you're home. You'll realize peace was never a gift to be given by the world. It was a kingdom waiting to be reclaimed. And now it's yours. Number 5, you're not behind. You're not behind. You're being forged the most brutal, soul-crushing lie. Your mind loves to tell you is this: you're behind in life, behind in success, behind in love. You watch everyone else seemingly soar. Their wins flashing in front of your face while you're stuck clawing through the mud. Their Instagram perfect moments, their polished victories, and all you see is a timeline you're not on. You're convinced that somehow, somewhere you missed the boat, and in that moment, you're no longer running your race. You're caught in a trap of comparison. You think, what's wrong with me? The quiet pain settles in like a heavy weight, dragging you deeper into silence. You feel like the clock is ticking, like everyone's racing past you, leaving you in the dust. But let me hit you with the truth. You're not behind. You're in the furnace, the heat, the struggle, the pain that's not defeat that's forging. The Stoics knew it better than anyone. Marcus Aurelius didn't sit around watching others succeed. He was too busy becoming. He didn't wonder what it took to be a good man. He became one. He said, don't waste time thinking about what a good man should be one. What does that mean for you? Stop looking at someone else's race, run your own. You're not behind, you're in the fire, and fire doesn't break steel, it forges it. That pressure you're feeling, that's the weight of your transformation. Every moment of frustration, every setback, every second you feel like quitting, it's not life kicking you down, it's life pushing you to become the heartbreak. The rejection, that's redirection, it's shaping you, sharpening you, molding you into something indestructible. You're not lagging behind. You're in the process of becoming unstoppable. The world's obsessed with quick wins, with the illusion of overnight success. But what you're building, what's being crafted inside you, will last. You're building strength. The world can't see yet. The kind of strength that survives the storms. The kind that stays standing after everything else has fallen. And that's power. You don't need the world's applause to move forward. Stop waiting for the validation you think you deserve. You're not a trend. You're not a blip on the radar. You're a force. And the world doesn't give credit to forces before they explode. Transformation, it's done in silence. It's done when no one's watching, when you're waking up at 3 a.m., fighting your demons when you're sweating in the shadows, pushing yourself when the world has long gone to sleep. It's those nights when no one's cheering you on, when the only voice you hear is your own telling you to keep going when everything inside you is screaming to stop. That's the true test. That's where you find out what you're really made of. And here's the thing, no one sees it coming. They won't hear you. They won't know what's coming. And when you rise, they'll have no idea what hit them. You're not waiting for the world to give you the green light. The world's too busy watching the next overnight success. They're not ready for your storm. They won't understand until it's too late. But when you come out of that fire, unscathed, unshaken, unstoppable, they'll have no choice but to witness the power you've built in silence. Your chapter isn't over. This is where it gets real. So stop listening to that voice that says, you're behind. That's the lie, you're in the forge. And when it's your time, when that fire has done its work, you'll rise not as a shadow of someone else's success, but as the force they never saw coming. Keep pushing, keep sharpening, keep becoming the world's not ready for what's about to. The turning point, happen. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have all the answers. In fact, perfection is the enemy of progress. But this is the moment where everything shifts. This is the turning point. No more letting your past mistakes or self-doubt dictate your future. No more letting the chaos in your mind cloud your clarity. It's time to silence the voices that hold you back. Time to kill the negativity that's been poisoning your soul, robbing you of your peace today. You step into the power of your mind. You train it like a soldier preparing for battle, focused, disciplined, unshakable. You become a Stoic, anchored in the present, immune to the storms of doubt and fear. You walk forward not just existing, but living with purpose, conviction, and unbreakable resilience. If this hits you deep down in the gut, where truth cuts through the noise, don't let it fade away. Don't keep this to yourself. Hit that like button, drop a comment below. Let the world know you're making this choice. You're taking control. Share this with someone still lost in their own mind, still shackled by their fears, and hit subscribe, because this isn't just talk. This is a call to arms. This is a movement to transform lives. Drop this in the comments. I burned my old thoughts to the ground. Now, my peace rises from the ashes. Feel that power that's you reclaiming your future.